I wasn't going to do a video to go along with the cave tour at Colossal Cave. I was just going to put the pictures, but I wanted to tell the story of Frank Smith, the man that leased the cave before he turned it over to the federal government. He wanted to preserve the cave, so he had been looking out after it, and he lived there on the grounds of the cave. And after he turned it over to the federal government, he was a tour guide until he was about 82, and I think he passed away at 83. But I want to tell the story about one of the pictures that I post. There's a roped off looking little section. This has been called Frank's living room. Now, and I put a little insert there of a monkey bar. And I want to explain why I put that monkey bar. The tour guide told us a story about Frank and his family. They lived in the house there and they didn't have any air conditioning. And as you can imagine, in Arizona, the temps in the summer are high. So they would go into the cave. Now, the interesting thing about this is above that room, there's an opening above it, 30 feet above it. Well, his kids used to rappel or free climb down into that opening, into that section they call the living room. I put that picture of the monkey bar, the old-fashioned monkey bar, because our kids today, they're not even allowed to climb on a monkey bar. Can you imagine these little kids rappelling down or free climbing down a 30 foot down into that cave? But the temperatures in that cave are constant. It's not a cold cave. The temperatures are a constant 71 degrees most of the time in there. And they would go down there and take games and things and camp for up to 6 nights in that what's called now Frank's living room. So I just thought that was fascinating. Another thing I found unique about the cave, in a monsoon, I don't remember when, messed up their electrical system, and it's going to cost so much money to replace the electrical system that they just use lanterns. So they, at the beginning of the tour, they hand out the little lanterns, and that's what you use through there. And they've got some lanterns hanging in there to show certain spots of interest. So that was another thing fascinating I found about the tour. As all cave tours I've been on, I enjoy going in caves. So there were lots of unique features in there and all, but I just found the story of him fascinating. And then I've also looked up, there's old history about some bank robbers using the cave to hide in there. You can look it up. It's the Bandits of Colossal Cave. So there's just, as usual, there's always lots of old stories dealing with caves. But I enjoyed this tour. Like I've said previously, I got there at 10 o'clock. It was just a little side trip, and the tour went until 12, but I used that time to look around because it's a great view from up there, and I also cooked my breakfast there, so I had a really good breakfast while I waited. So the time flew by. It didn't seem like the 2 hours was very bad, but that is my spiel on the Colossal Cave. I enjoyed it. Great little side trip. Later. So this is the road that's leading out to Chiricahua National Monument. I went about 40 miles out of my way to go to Chiricahua. I practiced pronouncing it all the whole day and never could learn how to pronounce it. You ought to hear how I am pronouncing it in this video. But the whole trip out, I was hoping that my destination wasn't the top of those mountains. As pretty as that mountain top is, I don't like to drive in the snow. So I'm thinking, please let me veer off. Please let me veer off. So when I got to the National Monument and rode through, as I got up higher, I went through a few snow drifts, but I didn't go to the top of these mountains. And even though I enjoyed looking at them on the trip out, I was glad that I didn't have to climb up there where all that snow was at. But it was a beautiful ride out. I enjoyed the ride out, and I enjoyed riding through Chiricahua National Monument. It was beautiful. I got to Chiricahua late in the afternoon, so I didn't have much time to do any hiking or anything. I just drove through the park. It has beautiful campgrounds there. I would love to stay at the campground there, but I just drove through. There's a lot of trees beside the road, so you can't see a lot of the structures just driving through. Lots of balancing rocks there. As I got on up higher, there was snow drifts beside the road, but not that many. But all the formations were really beautiful. To me, this park equaled some of the parks in Utah. And Utah's parks are my favorite in the country. But I was really impressed with Chiricahua. I would love to go back there and spend more time and do some hiking among the rocks and all. And I would really like to stay at the campground. Short, sweet, good little trip to the park. Thanks for watching my video about my 2 side trips. These were 2 good side trips. See you later. Bye.